everyone, welcome to today's webinar on Prime Day planning. We're going to talk about how to maximize your profits and make sure that you're making your dollars go farther. We talked a lot about this as we were planning, and we know with FBA fees rising and just costs rising, there's a lot of financial concerns right now. So we want to make sure that as we're preparing for Prime Day, we're also preparing for putting your best budget forward. So I'm excited to be here today. I'm Becky Trowbridge. I'm the digital marketing manager here at Ecom Engine. I've been here for about 7.5 years, and we have 3 software tools to help you simplify selling on Amazon. Feedback 5 helps you get reviews. Restock Pro is FBA inventory management, and Seller Pulse helps you protect your listings. And then I'll turn it over to you, Joseph, to introduce yourself and BidX.
Great. Hi, I'm Joe with BidX. I am an account manager. And we are a software tool that does bid optimization and keyword management. In addition to that, we are specialists with DSP and the Amazon Marketing Cloud. So essentially, I'm involved with everything on the Amazon advertising side, from keyword research, campaign creation, all the way through Amazon Marketing Cloud.
Awesome. And I will just jump in here. I realized I forgot to say we are recording this webinar. Feel free to ask questions throughout, and I'll ask those as they make sense, or else we'll just ask them all at the end. But feel free to ask our experts. You know, they're here to talk to you directly. So if you have questions, just let us know. And then I'll have John introduce himself, and I'll stop sharing.
Yeah, welcome. My name is John Aspinall. I'm a brand evangelist at PickFu, which means I get to go everywhere and talk about how great PickFu is to everybody. PickFu is a consumer data insight tool. You test everything from main hero image on Amazon, book covers, A+ content, ads on Amazon, everything under the sun. So yeah, it's super, super powerful. And guys watching, please ask questions. I've been on tons and tons of webinars, and everyone's a little, I want to say gun shy, but you know, keyboard shy. Ask the questions, because it's really going to help you, because Prime Day is right around the corner, and yeah, we're here to help.
All right. And I think, John, you're going to kick us off talking about how to make sure your listing is putting its best foot forward, right?
Yeah, totally. And I'm going to preface this. I did it before on the pre-call. If you guys hear kids in the background, this is real life. Everyone on the call said they didn't hear them. I'm shocked that they didn't hear them, but this is real life. So you're at home, you have your Amazon business, we're all working remotely. So it's life, and I'm there with you because I know everyone's going through the struggle. So I'm going to share my screen. Everyone can see my screen, right? Such a remote question, right? Can you see my screen? Like, we never had to do that years ago in the office where it was like, can you see my screen, boss? Like, it's clearly on the display. But I went ahead here. We're in Canva, and I use Canva a lot. I really recommend a lot of people use Canva if you don't have a creative director, if you don't have someone that's doing all of your editing and stuff like that, because it's gone really, really powerful over the years. And now, Joe, I think you probably, is it Joe or Joseph? I want to call you by it says Joseph, but you said Joe. I'm going to reference you in this. I go off the cuff, but Joe,
Yeah,
right?
Joe works. Yep.
I won't call you Joey. Don't worry about it. But Joe, you know, you probably saw the integration with Canva and Amazon Ads. So now Canva is integrated with Amazon Ads, where you can check if it's best practice. But anyway, just wanted to do a call back there. So we're looking at magnesium gummies, for example. So this is a SERP, or a search engine result page, for magnesium gummies. These are not our clients, maybe. And I just pulled some examples out here. So if you see here on the whiteboard, I pulled out Vitamic, and Dr. Someone's right here. So this is what their main hero image looks like, and this is what their main hero image looks like. But let's say you're this brand and you want to see how you're doing against them, or let's say you're this brand and you want to see how you're doing against them, or anyone else. What do? We PickFu it. And I'll show you some poll examples in a minute. But this is what we did on PickFu, and you can see this one was the winner over this one. So it's 53 to 47. Can you guys see? Should I zoom in a little bit? Let's zoom in. Oh, I broke the image. Let's not zoom in. So 53 to 47, right? We can see this is the winner. But why is it the winner, right? It's not winning by a landslide. So there's definitely some ground that we can make up. So with PickFu, you're able to get all of the consumer data right here. Why did I pick A? Why did I pick B? And then I did something cool, this little Canva icon here. That is going to be clickable. It's clickable. Look at that. So I went over here and I took that image. I'm pretending I'm Vitamatic and I want to gain some ground. Ooh, I spoiled it. I want to gain some ground on this one right here, right? So what can I do? So I pulled it in here and I'm going to move everything around that I did as a post edit that you can do in Canva and how you're going to test it again in PickFu. So with testing with PickFu, it's not a one and done thing. You guys probably have heard of ABC, always be closing. Joe, you probably know that one. I've ABT, always be testing. You always want to test, test, test. Pre-launch, during launch, after launch, when you're looking to sunset a product, you always have to know. So what did I do here? I took this, I took this, and I took this. This is how it looked before, but what I did was I went in here and I added some elements. Why did I add those elements to the main hero image? It's because this wasn't here before, neither was this. Obviously, I had to add it. But you always, in the supplement space, want to show the actual product outside the packaging, which is what the competitors are doing in this one right here. Now, I'll show you the results because a lot of people had polarizing opinions about the gummies. Some people liked that it was a bear. Some people like, I don't want to take candy. Like, it looks like it's for kids. It's hard to change that if you already have the product, but you always want to show it outside. And best practice is showing how much of a serving. So if it's 1 per serving, show 1. If it's 2, show 2. So people have realistic expectations. Even though the bottle's clear, people want to see how big it is, but then flavor is the biggest thing. So if I took this away, would you guys know what flavor it is? Probably not. You'd have to sit here and read. No one's really reading on Amazon. But if you have it here, I clearly know that that's a raspberry flavor, which is good for ads because if I love raspberry, I'm clicking on it and I'm probably going to convert. If I don't love raspberry, I'm not going to click on it and you don't have any wasted ad spend. Your ACAL is not going to go up, your taco is not going to go up. So those are those elements on the bottom half. The top half is what I call dead pixel real estate space. I've coined that term, so if you ever use it, you have to reference me or you're here for my attorneys. So dead pixel real estate space is this right here. You see Canva has a bend around it. So I curved the text a little bit to look, it's clearly a post edit. No one's ever going to care about this. You can look on listings on Amazon from top names that are in brick and mortar stores, 20,000 plus units sold per month. This is dead space. So without this over here, you're not bringing the value prop. Putting this here, right? Did you know that it was vegan friendly before I had this? Probably not, even though it says vegan right here, because magnesium citrate, I don't know, gummies is the most predominant thing here. So people might overlook the fact that it's vegan. So whatever your value prop is here, vegan, best, don't say best value, but anything that's not on your label that you want to showcase, you want to use the dead pixel real estate for. So I have some examples here too, in my dedicated ecom engine folder, thank you, of this is the poll that it won, right? And you could see 67 to 33. So it raised, it didn't totally win, but there's a lot of reasons why it totally didn't win. Some people preferred the gummies. And we look down here, it really made it known as vegan friendly. They like that. They like seeing that it was vegan friendly, right? I love the orange color and the flavor orange. So you can see this person didn't understand that it was raspberry, even though I put the raspberry there, but that's an anomaly. But going down here, the orange label, the normal looking gummies that do not look like candy is preferred. So people want to see those kind of things. Now, if you go back to over here, I don't have it pulled up, but let me see if I can zoom in for you guys, right? So the reason why people preferred this one, so what I'm doing is I'm taking from the first poll, I'm taking why they preferred that one, and that's what I'm doing my edits on the second one. So sucker for gummy bear, we can't affect that. Easy to consume. Let's see, it says more professional looking. I like seeing what the gummies look like. So that was a big callback to kind of editing that, because a bunch of people said that. I love seeing the actual product outside the bottle. So these are the things that you're able to get with a PickFu that your creative director might be sitting there and like, oh no, you don't need that. You do need that. And this is why you need this, because the data here is going to tell you why. Again, it didn't win by a landslide because even though this is 600 milligrams, this is 400, it's a little skewed. People still preferred, this kind of bottle. A lot of people are going to gravitate towards a gummy bear. But I gave some other examples over here from previous polls, right? So we're doing not just A/B testing. I'm going to get to some different options, but something like this. Why did this one win by a landslide? Well, the package is open. It's empty. Ta-da! But who cares? what they're putting is they're putting restorative sleep. This says nothing. This says something. So benefits over features. You always want to showcase some sort of CTR wording on the, where's my camera? CTR wording over the packaging. So product validation, right? So if you're looking to source something and you don't know what shape, you run a PICFU first, and this is what's going to do. So again, it doesn't affect Prime Day, but if you're looking to source products, what shape should I bring it in? So clearly you would not want to bring in this wacky shape over here. People are more in line with this. This is going to help you not have wasted ad spend. Perfect for Prime Day over here. You can see before, this is just a, is it mini USB? I don't think anyone uses mini USB anymore, but this is mini USB. But putting a box behind it, landslide. Big difference, because people, oh, clearly mini USB is right there, duh. I was questioning it before, but now I see it over here. I know how many feet it is, what it's compatible with, what they're targeting. So over here, I don't know. Over here, I know. More product sourcing. I think everyone's seen this shape, right? That's why everyone kind of gravitates. I've never seen this shape, right? So before you invest, you want to test. Open-ended is another good one too. So what if you don't have A or B and you have a couple different variations? You could do an open-ended poll. People aren't voting. Just put one image in there and everyone's going to give you, I like this design, I like that design. Again, because babies, listen guys, if you're in the baby space, you're making bank, but it comes with the compliance and all that other stuff. So making sure that you pick the right thing, maybe these hanging things, you have to do a lot of testing. You really want to make sure you do it properly. Here's a great one for Prime Day too. CTR wording. So the reason this guy won over here is because it's clear on what it is. This is 5-in-1 dog wash, but the ingredients of bubbles and coconut don't really resonate versus the earthy, all natural, putting that it's oatmeal pet wash, made in USA. Made in USA is the biggest thing. If your product's made in the USA, don't be sneaky. And if your product's not made in the USA, don't say made in the USA. But if it's made in the USA, even better, what they could do is the red, white, and blue logo, red, white, and blue flag. That speaks volumes. Before, I could not know how to read, but if I see the American flag, I know it's America. Here's my favorite. And again, they're not testing out products, they're testing out placement for their main hero image. There's a reason this one hit by a landslide, because you might not even know what these are, but doing a post-edit wrap around this, sync protector, sizing, this is the go-to for any home, kitchen, stuff like that. I will put a caveat. If you guys are watching this and you're in the footwear, shoe space, don't try any of this stuff. I'm sorry. That category is super locked down, along with a lot of apparel and or some jewelry. So if you're in those, or books, if you're in any of those spaces, you don't have too much wiggle room. But if you're in the kitchen space or the home space or even the supplement space, it's like the Wild West out there. Speaking of supplements, look at this one. So these pictures are the same. They're pretty much the same. Landslide. Why? 30 servings. They're showing exactly what the value prop is. They're getting more clicks. But else, what else? Made in USA. And I can tell you right off the bat, that is a Canva element. If you have Canva Pro, which I think is like $12 a month, that is a Canva element right there. And they already are getting more consumer research. So if you go down here, you're going to see, I like knowing the servings. I see the serving numbers, servings, a little bit more information. So you could serving. So people like to see that anytime, again, this isn't a great test of the competition. So you'd want to test which version of you is good, and then do another PICFU of how you did initially against your competition, and then now how you're going to do against your competition with the new updated version. And the last one I'll pull up doesn't load. Oh, there it does. I have two more. I'm lying. Joe, I'm not going to steal all your time. Hold on. So this is a click test. So this is really, really interesting. And a lot of people aren't using this. It's super powerful. So something like this, you could load up a whole snapshot of a SERP on Amazon, and you could say, which image would you click on and why? And you could see the heat map over here of where people are clicking. You see no one's really clicking over here, but a lot of people are clicking here. And if you highlight it, now if I go down here, it's going to give me all the responses as to why they like that one. So if you're looking to see how you compare against your competition for Prime Day, take a screenshot of your SERP where you show up, and then run a click test on this, and then you'll see where customers are gravitating. Last one I have is kind of fun. It's not really Amazon related. I snuck this in here, don't be mad. But this is which one of these AI images is not AI created. Click on the one you feel is not AI. And people went with this one. Joke's on them, they're all AI. So AI is super powerful for your PDP, for your image stack, for your A plus content, because I think in Midjourney, which is a great tool to use, especially for realistic photos, but I put, a couple in their 60s that are health conscious walking outside in the park. So if your supplement, I'll stick on supplements, if your supplement is affecting those individuals and you don't have, there's only so many times you can show the pill. Now, this is not for your main hero image. I will say that. Don't do that. But this is for like if you're doing some typography down here or an infographic, and then you can see why. This one looks the most real, all the other kind of cool stuff. So that's my jam, guys. Are there any questions? Are people being shy and not asking questions?
People are being shy.
Don't you be shy around me.
That was awesome. So we talk a lot, reviews is one of the main things we do. And we talk a lot about your listing is really setting the tone for every interaction you have with the customer. Like the buyer experience really starts with your SERP, right? If your hero image is misleading or you're not providing the right kind of information, you can set yourself up for really bad issues with your reputation. I think one thing that's interesting to me is I've seen products where there are variations that are quite different, but they're under the same parent listing. And I guess like the hero image gets kind of tricky there. What kind of techniques do you have for that?
So there's not really a lot of techniques with that. What you just labeled, and I won't say the brand name, but it's in like the cell phone accessory space. That's a big culprit of this. A lot of times sellers, what they'll do is they'll take advantage of parentages and they'll tack on the new version or the new 2.0 or the new product launch onto that because the existing one has so much traction. If it's not like a color variation or a flavor variation, it's technically against Amazon's terms of service to be doing that. I know a lot of people do it to get traction on a new product launch, but there's no real way to to test the main hero image against the variations and stuff like that. The only really good one that I can tell is if you, I'm not gonna share my screen away again, but if you guys are watching this, type in ice cream scoop on Amazon, you'll get hit with a bunch of ice cream scoops, but a lot of them will have post edits of tags where it'll show the color variations on the tag. That's something people are doing in those spaces to let people know that they have other color variations, sometimes 10 or 15 different colors that wouldn't be known from the main hero image. So that's if it's a color variation and you're in a category that doesn't have it below the main hero image, you can get away with putting a tag on there and just showing the colors as swatches and then a CTR word like, professional ice cream scoop. And I say that sounds funny, but someone actually has it out there. They're killing it with like 10,000 units a month. I heard a doggy. It's okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sorry. There again with life, there's construction happening outside, and my guy is letting us know about it. So
we're all real here, people.
yes. Well, that was awesome. If you have any questions for John, please pop in the chat. Sorry, Joe.
Oh yeah, I got one question as I was listening to your part here. About how many times do you recommend that someone should pick through an item? So they test it and they get feedback against a few others, and you try that winner. Do you do like a few rounds, or do you recommend that usually?
Yeah. So always be testing ABT, right? So you always want to test if sales are going well. Some people get a little lax and they're like, I don't have to test. You always, whether you're a solopreneur or you're on a team, you always want to periodically type in your main search term that you're looking and see if there's any competition creeping up. So I would say that SERP kind of screenshot with the click test will give you some good guidance on that. But then also if you're in the category where there's some seasonal merchandising, so say for example, you're into the tumbler space, sometimes people get away with putting Christmas ornaments behind their tumblers, sometimes for Halloween. So it depends on how your product line is. But just because you have a 10% click-through rate, which is insane, you could be leaving money on the table if you're not checking. So I know that sounds super salesy, like always use us to decide what cereal you need to have in the morning. But when you see ground slipping from a competitor and China direct brands are being very tactical and they're understanding they're not competing on price, they're actually competing on brand, which is very scary for a lot of US sellers. So you always want to make sure, because China's always going to one up. I say China, Mexico, wherever anyone manufactures product, they're coming to Amazon and trying to eat your lunch.
All right. So Joe, tell us about ads. What do we need to know?
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, so that's actually a really good transition. Even before I get into anything with ads, and as my presentation will be beginning, um, it's super important that before you really like go crazy with injecting capital into your ads, that you do exactly what John is talking about, and you make sure that your image, your main hero images are optimized. You have the best possible one. You're getting the highest possible click through rate that you can, and again, that comes through iterating and testing, and just overall putting time and effort into it. Once you have that product listing optimized, whether it's through your main hero image, your product title, your PDP, we'll get into everything with it. Then at that point, we say you're advertising ready and you're ready to include more capital into your campaigns. So, Prime Day from the advertising side. Um, as I was leading into, first of all, we like to see if your PDPs are ready. So an optimized PDP, this may be like not new information for some of you on this slide, but I feel that it's always important to include just because people will once you're putting money into ads, sometimes people will say, why aren't I getting the right return? Why is my ACoS so low, or why is it high? This and that. It all starts with your product detail page and making sure that once people are directed to your page, they have the highest possible chance of converting and getting a sale for you as possible. So you got to have a strong product title with meeting all of the standards, being long, matching up with tons of search terms that are related to your product. High quality, zoomable images are important. Obviously, make sure your products are in stock. Always a big one. Include bullet points, A+ content, have questions, have a high review count with quality reviews. And Prime Day specific, make sure that your product is displaying the feature offer. And overall, like as John was saying, communicate the big unique selling propositions through your images, through your text, through everything with your product detail page. And then at that point, once everything is ready to be scaled up, then that's the right time to be injecting capital into advertising. So starting off, I'm going to talk a little bit about just two reports. I'm sure many of you already checked them, but especially leading into Prime Day, if you're hammering in on a few particular ASINs, it's super important to check out your brand analytics page as well as your search query performance report. Understanding the search terms that are most important to your products and being able to really hammer in on them, see how you perform at each of these, super important. Again, you want to like use your existing campaigns that you have, and sometimes if necessary, you want to really hammer on some high impression, high search volume campaigns, make them specific for Prime Day, and get right into drumming up sales for Prime Day. So getting into all that, there's, we could spend 10 minutes going through where you click, where you do this and that, but they're all right through your Amazon advertising console. But talking about the Prime Day stages, we have our Prime Day lead up, we have Prime Day itself, and Prime Day follow up. So before Prime Day, people are going to start shopping, and like, I know even myself as a Amazon Prime regular, someone that orders off of Amazon. I'm already starting to browse. I'm adding to my wish list. I'm looking at different products that I like, but I'm not converting, and neither are the millions of other shoppers. So it's important to get your name out there before, boost up your ads a little bit, boost up bids, budgets, become like slightly more relevant. But the big thing is, if you are going to be running a lot of deals, if you're looking to make a big push, run some top of funnel ads. Get the sponsored brand, get overall awareness just to your products, to your brands. Make sure it's sticking out to people, because these people are going to come back to Amazon and on Prime Day, and when they're looking for a specific product and that your name is familiar to them already, they're more likely to convert. Which leads us into Prime Day itself. So Prime Day is live. There's millions of shoppers ready to spend and want to buy your product. So the first thing, if you listen to nothing else in this whole presentation, just understand that you don't want to run out of money. You don't want to run out of budget on Prime Day. You really want to expand your budgets. Make sure that if traffic goes crazy, you don't run out of budget by 4 p.m. You got to check in, make sure that you're spending an okay amount, up your budgets if you have to, and just make sure that you're still showing up. We were just talking about awareness and top of funnel campaigns just before this with the Prime Day lead up. Now, we don't want all of those impressions and you get high ACoS, high spends without too much conversion with those top of funnel campaigns. So on these Prime days and like the day or two leading up, you want to start putting in retargeting campaigns so that you're able to recoup some of those people that have become familiar with your brand. It'll show up on the product detail page of these customers while they're shopping, buying another product, and then it'll say, oh, I remember looking at that too. I wanted to get it. Boom. You just get a conversion just like that. It's super important that, especially if you're running top of funnel before Prime Day, that you pair those top of funnel campaigns pre-Prime Day with retargeting campaigns on Prime Day itself. So whether you're just using sponsored display through the Amazon Advertising Console, you can just set up a pretty basic 90-day look back on advertised products or on page views, or go by contextual targeting with similar products and show up that way. However, if you are doing DSP or you have a DSP managed service, make sure to talk to your DSP account manager and say, hey, I really want to make sure that I have a custom audience looking back from when I started running these top of funnel campaigns, specifically retargeting onto them. And, if once they're at 2 or 3 clicks, when they've looked at it whatever amount of times, get really granular with those campaigns and really ensure that the follow-up, the retargeting campaigns are going to lean into those top of funnel campaigns you set up before. Prime Day lead out. So, the 2 weeks after Prime Day, a really big metric that Amazon has been pushing this last year is new to brand sales. So with Prime Day, you're going to see an influx of a lot of new shoppers, a lot of people that are looking for, you, others, whatever people are offering. So you really want to push. And when you convert people as a new to brand customer, you want to retarget them. And with the rest of your product line or with, complementary products throughout the way, so that you're not just kind of like a one and done product for them, but you build up your brands. You can get more customers when they're already familiar with your brands, and really just be able to hammer in and open up on that success that you already had on Prime Day through retargeting and based off of these new to brand sales, new to brand audiences. My other huge tip is to make sure you have video ads running. I am a big fan of video ads, and I'm always encouraging my clients to set them up. If they don't already have them, make more, test out a whole bunch of different stuff, use them for all your products. So first of all, like before I even get into the slide, the sponsored brand videos are just such an important ad type. If you look through the search engine result page and you scroll down about like 2 finger clicks worth, you're going to hit the sponsored brand video. And specifically as a customer, when I'm looking down, you get your row of sponsored at the top, you get a row of organic, however it shapes out. 3-4 lines down, all the products, sort of blend together, but the moving image, the video, is really going to catch your attention and make you stop and watch. When you stop and watch, you really want to make sure that those first 5 to 7 seconds are super engaging. They have some sort of call to action or some sort of hook to get somebody to click into the video. There's 2 different ways that you can make these sponsor brand videos. There's custom videos, Overall, if you have good quality custom videos, it's a great moat for your product. Other advertisers don't want to create videos because they're time intensive and cost intensive. But I mean, even if you have videos that you've invested money into that are on your product detail pages, you can edit those down, just through iMovie, reshuffle, get a hook in the first 5 to 7 seconds, and focus on bringing them into your product detail page so you can have them convert. Um, Again, I just really always encourage people to take the extra time, make these custom videos. If you don't have custom videos and you're just a bunch of images, that's okay too. Amazon has a video creative builder where if you are creating a sponsored brand video through the advertising console, you can essentially get a template and plug in a bunch of images into your sponsored brand video builder, and it'll come out looking great. It's like a 15-second video. You have 20, 30 templates to choose from. And again, just like the amount of engagement it gets is crazy. You get these stats are from Amazon. You get about a 3x CTR increase compared to sponsored product ads, and an increase of 20% detail page view compared to sponsored product ads. So again, just remember, it will catch the customer's eye, and you're more likely to get people in there. You might be saying, well, I've run sponsored brand videos in the past, and it didn't work. But think about what John was talking about. The big thing is about testing. Just because it doesn't work in a certain way, maybe you can switch up a variable, test it, see what happens the next time. I'm also a big believer in iterating and testing out to see what's going to work and what's not going to work. I think that for the most part, it quite often works. You'll get cheap CPCs compared to what you think it's going to be, and overall just a big boost in traffic. So just last thing on sponsored brand videos, make them, make them, have them active. Just a quick thing on promotional messagings. You want to stay away overall from superlatives saying we're the best. You can't reference Prime Day in it. Just make sure that as you're building it, there'll be little info thing, saying, hey, don't put this in, don't do that. Respect the guidelines, stay within them, and your ad will be approved. It takes about 1 to 3 business days. So don't try to make a sponsor brand video the night before Prime Day. It's not going to get approved. Like a week out, make them up, submit them. They'll get approved, and they'll be running. Super important. I highly encourage you to do it. Last thing I'll finish on is just a few quick tips. So to reiterate, in bold, first thing that jumps out, don't run out of budget. Number 1 Prime Day tip. Get your budgets high, get your bids high. Check in on your campaigns a few times throughout the day. Make sure that everything's running right. You might want to consider running some top of search campaigns where it makes sense for you, on your different products that you have the extra margin for. You have extra inventory and you're trying to push. Top of search campaigns run great. Overall, bids are going to be higher for Prime Day, so make sure that your campaigns reflect that. And again, the pre-Prime Day awareness campaigns combined with retargeting off the back of that, especially if you're running different deals, if you're really leaning into Prime Day, I think that should absolutely be a part of your strategy. And that's all I got. So there's a lot that goes into it. I tried to just touch on, the big chunk of the Pareto principle, the 80% without getting into the nitty gritty. So if you're looking to get, a double check on what your strategy is for Prime Day, on overall your advertising strategy, use this QR code here, set up a time. I'll make sure that me and my team are able to get a look at it before Prime Day so that you can get the best results possible.
Awesome. I have a question. So when it comes to maximizing your budget, I know we see a lift for everyone during Prime Day, right? There's just more traffic coming to Amazon. People are looking for deals. Where do you recommend, do you 80/20 it on your top products in terms of budget? What's your kind of loose breakdown for where to put your funds?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I think that overall, if you're going to do nothing, like rather than just boosting up everything, if you want to be like pretty efficient with everything, I would filter your campaigns based on the highest converting. And since we're going to see this big lift in traffic, this big lift in spend, really focus that extra money into your highest converting campaigns.
Makes sense. And we had another question. This one's for John. Adam was asking, do the main images with additional elements like the text and the raspberries get flagged because it violates the main image rules? And I know you kind of said it's the Wild West for supplements, right? I think that's what you meant.
Yeah, so let me share my screen again if that's cool,
Yeah.
and show you a little bit what I'm talking about. So I use historically Arc browser. I know Joe's looking at it right now. I just searched melatonin gummies. He's looking at it probably saying, where's the ads? So Arc browser comes right off the rip out of the box, no ads. So I can't use Arc to show this, right? So what else I wanted to kind of talk on? So I'll use Chrome, which I dislike for right now. But in this space, if you see a competitor that's doing 20,000 units a month and they're doing it, you can feel safe and secure and cuddly and warm and fuzzy that you can do it. Now, if I go to another tab and I type in, shoes. Oh, no, this is PG, guys. Shoes. Shoes. You can type in shoes. There's nobody that's doing this. So if you can't even show two shoes, right? If there's a standard that they do not divvy from, they don't divert from, whatever kind of adjective you want to put there, they don't go away from it. So, something like this, if you're in the footwear space, don't try anything that I'm talking about. Run more ads with Joe. But for CTR, certain categories like what I was saying. I muted myself. I'm a silly goose. In supplements, for example, you can see now if I'm selling supplements and I see Natural doing, which is fantastic. I use these, by the way, no plug. 20,000 per month, and they're doing something like this here. You can rest assured that you can do it. Now, I know I showed a couple more elements besides that. So take a look and see if the first 5 or 6 rows are the big dogs, heavy hitters. But look at this guy right here. He's just melatonin gummies. Does he have a brand? Oh, Just Nutrients. I had to find the brand. But he has some fruit over here, right? And he's doing 6,000 units a month. So understand your space, understand your realm, understand where you need to be. So now, if I type in, kitchen, let's go back to ice cream scoops. I think I said ice cream scoops before. Ice cream scoops. No one is ever going to think, I bought this ice cream for $6.68. I didn't get my 3 scoops of ice cream, 1-star review, A to Z claim. No one's doing that. But you have to know the space, know the room, as they say, right? Like know who you're talking to, know what's going on. So a lot of these guys are putting these tags in here, kind of like what I was telling you before about the color variations. This is that example over here. So this category does not allow for variations of the image. So what they're doing is, if you didn't have the tag there, you would never know there's the pink, the orange, the blue, the white, the green. But by doing this, they're getting a high click-through rate, which I can assume, and doing 10,000 units over the past 30 days. This is the organic number one over here doing 8,000. So and then they're doing something like this as well, possibly because they don't have another color option. So they're leaning into the yumminess of ice cream. Although I will say I don't like fruit with my ice cream, so I might not click on that one. But as long as they're not using mint chocolate chip, because mint chocolate chip should be outlawed and a sin in any kind of state. If you're watching
We're
this,
gonna have a fight.
oh no, we don't do that around here. That's not. I see a lot of mint down here. I'm going back up towards the top, right? But kind of to play on what Joe was saying before, I think from what I've seen is using like brand ads up here, they're not using video. So if you scroll down, well, let's scroll down a little bit more. I'm not seeing any video. Here we go. Here's one, right? So are they really showing it? Yes. So what I would have done if I was to replay this video, I would start with the ice cream scoop. I wouldn't start with the guy holding the ice cream scoop, because that doesn't mean anything to me. Like, who cares if he's holding it, right? But lead into exactly what it is. Like, this is multi, triple, quadruple purpose, right? So it's showcasing, this is a good video. And I historically, Joe, don't hate me, I historically don't like videos on Amazon on the PDPs because I will never click on a video when I shop for something under $100. If I'm shopping for an ice cream scoop, it's $5. Do you think I'm watching a video on the PDP to know how to use ice cream scoop? Probably not. But something like this is auto playing. It's in your face. You have no option but to see it. So I have no way of replicating mobile, but I always tell people if the state is going towards no ads, I know Joe's like cringing right now, like no ads, ad blockers. What are you guys doing? But let's say the standard goes to everyone and their mother has browsers with no ad blockers built inside of it. You know, people start to freak out. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Amazon will break it. They'll find a way in. No, they won't. The point is you want to focus on mobile too. I did a poll recently on LinkedIn. I said, where do you shop on Amazon? Your computer or your phone? I think like 70% of like 300 plus people went with phone because that's where I shop. I shop as I need something. I don't sit down, hunker on in and be like, what do I need to buy today? Like, no, I'm on the go. My wife's on the go. My wife doesn't even have a laptop. She has no computer. Everything she does is from her phone. And that's a majority of people. So, you know, when you look at this, if I was to pull up melatonin gummies on my iPhone, the first thing you see is an autoplay ad. The first thing you see. And because it's a 1 by, it's not a 5 by on, you know, you don't have the vertical room. No, you don't have the horizontal room. You have the vertical room. You don't have that many options. So something like that is making sure that you're optimized for mobile is huge because I see too many people, and that's again something you're able to test on PickFu as well. Does this look better? Would you click on this? Does this make sense? Even if you're taking a screenshot from the SERP on the mobile device, because I think it's super important because I've seen so many people build out these beautiful Apple level, you know, premium A+ content PDPs, product detail page, if I'm screwing anyone up that's watching this. And then you go to mobile on the mobile app and it's overlapping, it's all scrunched because it's not optimized for mobile. So you really, really, really want to focus on any of your ads, any of your images, any of your A+ content. Make sure it's mobile friendly because if most people, which sounds like they do, shop on their phones, all that good work and all those robust things. And remember, on a mobile phone, even if you have an iPhone Pro Max, sorry, I'm team iPhone. If you have a green bubble, I don't know. Even on the biggest iPhone, videos are small, right? So you want to make sure that when you're running those video ads, that it's super impactful. Like if you're looking at a scene and it's pulled back and you can't really see what's going, it's not going to resonate. You're not going to get the clicks, and it's just not going to work.
Yeah, I was just reading something actually about people making big purchases still going to their laptop, and it's like a big deal, right? Like you're buying a plane ticket that's $1,000 and you don't necessarily do that on your phone. And I find myself doing that, but I think that Amazon was the gateway for me, just being like, oh yeah, I need, you know, garbage bags. Okay, I'm going on Amazon, and just open the app makes it so easy.
Totally.
And
But if I have to
yeah,
buy something that's a little bit, if I have to buy something that's over $200 on Amazon, and or if I have to put it together, like a furniture, assembly, a desk, I'm typically going to go to my desktop because I want to see a little bit bigger. I'm probably going to click on the videos on the PDP because I want to see what's my wife getting me into now. Am I going to have a drill? Am I going to have a saw? Like, what do I need for this project, right? Or if it's a high ticket item, like an electronic, is it going to work? Is it compatible? How do I install it? Those kind of things. But if you're watching this and you're in the 25 and under price point, video is super important for ads. But don't put all of your eggs in the basket of the video on your PDP. I see that a lot too, where a lot of people will just go premium A+. They'll have 2 modules. The first one will be a big video and then a nice little catchy slogan or something like that. And you're forcing people to watch a video and you're creating friction in the sales process. And you don't want to do that. You want to have all the pertinent information, all the benefits, features, benefits over features. I don't care if it's stainless steel. Tell me what I'm going to gain by it being stainless steel. That's the benefit, right? Have all that, and then have the video as well for the people that want to go above and beyond and actually click on it. Because a lot of times you'll see also in Premium A+ those carousels. And I've seen people be super guilty of putting all good information on the 3rd slide in the carousel. What if no one goes and clicks on your carousel, right? And that's something you could test with PickFu that we've done multiple times for clients where we're like, okay, here's a product detail page. We'll do a click test. Where's the first place you're going when you're shopping? And a lot of people are not clicking on that arrow and that carousel to slide over, whether it's in the A plus or the brand story module, which, by the way, super big hack for SEO. If you're not using your brand story module, you could do crawlable text in there. You could do alt text behind all the photos. I think you could put like up to 10 modules inside there. Even if it's a lifestyle image that hasn't, that's not specifically your product, but if you sell supplements for dogs and it's a dog running in the park, add that in your brand story module, even with no text on it, because you could put alt text behind it, right? So all that SEO is going to help you. But call to actions are super important. So if you have a brand story module, or if you have a carousel that has more than one slide, include, arrow, more benefits, arrow, this, guide people through. Otherwise, you have to talk to consumers like they're 6-year-olds. Don't treat them like that. Just talk to them like that, and through your listing, and guide them through. Maybe 7 years old. I don't know about 6.
Yeah, I think with writing, they always say to write for like a 6th grade level and don't get too fancy with your words.
Yeah, whenever I put like social posts on LinkedIn, I have like a little tool that gauges like what grade level it's on. If I go above 2nd grade level, man, I'm just like, no, I keep it basic. You do this, you will lose. Very, very simple, very impactful, so people understand.
Yeah. We're all busy. We don't have time to cipher through.
No, people, it's the same is true with Amazon. People shop with their eyes first. People look at the images, people look at the ads, then what they're doing is they're looking at your title, you're looking at their bullet points, right? To validate what they're looking at. So they're looking at the image first, right? Your title, as much as people say, have a catchy title, put these keywords on the title, that's for SEO. No one's going to look at a product picture, omit that. Oh my God, it says this in the title. It almost never happens. Your image is first. That's how you grab them. Then your title and your bullet points is a validation for what they're looking at, because then they're going there and they're seeing, okay, this is Bluetooth, or this is USB-C, or this is made in the US, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that's actually a really good segue into what I was going to talk about, which is reviews. Because I am a review. I don't know if it's just because I've worked for Ecom Engine for so long, but man, if I go on to the SERP and I see like a 3-star review as the average rating, I'm not even looking at your listing. I have no interest. I assume that there's something like horrifically wrong with it. I go to listings, I look at the critical reviews first. I am that person that filters by, I love the customer review highlights and being able to see like big picture, what do people love and hate about a product. And
but a lot of people,
really
a lot of people
the...
are like that. Sorry to interrupt, but a lot of people are like that because they're used to doing that for, restaurants, their bars. They're used to looking. They don't look at the positive. No one cares about the 5-star reviews as much as they care about, why does this thing suck? So you're not alone in that camp. I do that too. I'm like, why is it a 3-star? Oh, it blows up in my hand. No, I'm good. Yes. Thank you.
But if you don't have those 5-star ratings, you're screwed, right?
Yeah. You need them, but people aren't. You need them for validation, but people aren't looking about how great you are. They're really looking about how bad you are. So you need more 5 stars, and it's like Uber. 4.5 doesn't cut it anymore on Amazon.
And we talk a lot about that. You need the reviews for your ads. Like, you're not even running ads if you're below, I think, is it 3.5 stars, Joe? There are some that you can't run. But also, just to me, it's like you're getting, just like PickFu, like you can go into your customer reviews and you can learn so much about what people think about your product and your brand. And that is invaluable because you don't have that everywhere. But you need reviews. Amazon needs reviews. Customers need reviews, but customers are using them way differently than you are. But getting those reviews ahead of Prime Day is really important. So having a review strategy in place, you can use software like Feedback 5. We make it super simple. You do need to, like we were talking about with image guidelines, there are also guidelines for reviews. So you do need to make sure that you're following those. We make it really easy. You can send a message directly from Amazon through the request a review message. And it's just like 2-minute setup, set it and forget it. And you start seeing those reviews rolling in. We typically see a pretty good boost around Prime Day just because sales go up and people are leaving more reviews. And we also prefer it to Q4 a little bit in our hearts. Because at Q4, people are buying gifts. And with Prime Day, I'm very selfish. I think a lot of other people are too. It's the middle of summer. They're not really buying presents for other people. So the things that they're buying, they are actually probably going to be able to review. I think sometimes when people buy gifts, they just kind of see the review request and they're like, I gave that to my grandma, I'll leave a review later, or they forget about it. But if it's a product they really like, I think they're more likely to leave a review. And you do have that 5 to 30-day window to request a review. So we talk about things like supplements. You want to wait as close as you can get to that 30-day mark, because they obviously aren't as impactful right away. And then things that people would open and use right away, you want to get that review request to them right away. So we can make it so you can split by SKU, send a product specific message. You can target repeat buyers, auto exclude refunds. There's a lot of really cool stuff with targeting. And then I know we're kind of coming up on time, so I'll just go quickly. I wanted to talk a little bit about inventory management as well. And that's obviously a huge topic. But high level, I'll just say if you're an FBA seller, you need to be getting your inventory in now. It's due to fulfillment centers for Prime Day by June 20th, here in the US at least. And then our Restock Pro tool has a really cool feature that we just added. We're looking at the historical days of supply metric and the low inventory level fee to help you avoid that fee. So we're pulling in the data to help you make decisions to prevent you from getting that fee. So if you'd like to learn more about that, feel free to message me. I'm happy to share more. We're really excited about it. And just keep in mind that you want to stay in stock for Prime Day. Going out of stock is one of the worst things that you can do. You've spent so much time, you've done your PickFu, you've done your BidX, you've got everything ready to go. Your listings are looking great. You go out of stock, your top competitor is getting all of that traffic that you just drove. You do not want that to happen to you. So I always recommend, I think FBA is great, but have a backup plan, whether you're using a 3PL, whether you're FBM, if you're desperately in the warehouse at 3 a.m. packing orders yourself, whatever you need to do to get those orders out the door, don't go out of stock if you can avoid it at all possible. But I will also say that Prime Day is a great opportunity because of the higher traffic to kind of offload some stuff, because the other thing you want to look out for is the aged inventory surcharge. And if you've got inventory that is just kind of sitting around at FBA, you can offer discounts. Amazon kind of guides you through. You've probably seen that in your FBA dashboard. There are drop downs that give you ideas for things you could offer discounts on, or different ways you could try to sell through that inventory. And I recommend just using that high traffic time. People are looking for deals anyway. You've got a variation, you're retiring, just try to sell out or as close as you can get. Because it's going to cost you either an aged inventory fees, disposal fees, liquidation, whatever you end up doing to get it out of FBA. So even if you're losing a little bit, if you can take advantage of the high traffic and get it out of there so it's not bringing down your capacity, your storage capacity, and hurting your account, then do it. So that's a lot about inventory. Just be prepared. Make sure that you're really looking at that low inventory level fee. It's the first real test of it with a big event this year. So Amazon, they rolled out this fee April 1st, and then there were a couple of announcements in Seller Central where they were offering credits. And so they started charging it, but not really, because they were crediting it back. And then for Prime Day, there's some special communication around that, because this is the first high volume season where we're going to see what that does. And I think whatever happens with Prime Day is going to be really, really important for Q4. So if you've got stock that regularly gets to that low inventory, 28 minimum days of supply range, just make sure you're really paying attention and taking away what you need to for Q4 to make sure that you don't get slammed with a lot of additional fees. And then finally, I wanted to talk about protecting your listings, because if your listing is search suppressed, or you have some kind of, we see a lot of hijacking activity around these high volume sales events because people see an opportunity to try to take you down. Your competitors can be ruthless. They are not afraid to just jump in there and try to take you out. So our Seller Pulse tool gives you listing alerts and recommended actions so that you can take action right away and try to get ahead of anything like that. Something like a hijacker is a little more complicated because you might send a cease and desist or something that might take a while, but at least you would be aware of it and you could funnel your ad budget elsewhere. I mean, you don't want to be paying for ads for a listing that's been hijacked. And so there are a lot of things that you can do to just be proactive and protect your account going into Prime Day. It is a big time. We are offering a 30-day free trial of any of our tools. So we don't know the date for Prime Day yet, but you know, if you signed up later this month, you could try it for free through Prime Day and see what happens, and get those notifications and make sure that you're protecting your listings. And then I know we're getting to time. It looks like, oh yes, Colleen shared our low inventory level fee article, and I can share that in the follow-up email, and I will be sending out the recording. Did anyone have any additional questions, or Joe or John, was there anything else you wanted to cover? I know I kind of zoomed through there.
Yeah, I feel underprepared, Joe, with your awesome QR code, because I wanted to, now I'm going to steal that idea and I'm going to make a QR code for me. But anyone watching this, if you guys are looking for a coaching call, I'm happy to do a coaching call, no cost, with anyone watching this. I'll make sure you guys have my link for that to put in that email blast. Normally like $300 or $400. We could talk about anything from strategy, merchandising, CTR, main image hacks, all that kind of cool stuff. And typically on those coaching calls, I do a lot of PickFoos because, you know, I work at PickFoo, I got unlimited credit, humble brag. So I'll do a lot of that stuff on there as well. And then anyone, PickFoo as the company, probably give out anywhere between, I can't say the number, probably between $50 to $100 in free PickFoo credits. But we'll confirm afterwards for that email. So if you're watching this, you want to play with some PickFoo, which you should, then we'll get you hooked, as the kids say.
Sounds good. All right, well, I don't see any questions, so I'll just say thank you both for joining us. Obviously, Prime Day, you know, there's a lot happening. It's coming up soon. Like I said, we don't know the exact date, but we do know it'll be in July. So
I just want them to discount a Kindle like a crazy discount, because they discount, I'm talking about Amazon products themselves. They always give like crazy discounts. I have enough Echo Dots, Echo Pops. I have enough Echoes in my house where Jeff can spy on me, right? But they never really do like deep discounting on a Kindle, and I want a Kindle. So Amazon, if you're watching this, make them like 70% off and I'll buy two.
I love my Kindle.
Do you have the color one, or do you have like the paperwhite one?
I have the color one, and we absolutely use it to watch Amazon Prime in bed. We don't have a TV in the bedroom anymore, so it's nice because I can read and I can watch videos.
I want the one that's like paper light, that's like light as paper, and I can just hold it and read nonsense horror science fiction stuff that I don't need to be reading. Whatever.
It's supposed to be good on the eyes too, especially after a day of, you know, looking at your screen and your other screen.
Well, you guys don't know because I wear glasses all the time, but if I wore glasses while I film, I'd look like I'm, you know, where am I looking? You never know. So my eyes are already shut, Joe, so I'm not worried about that. Just give me my stuff nice and light. Or I think they have one of them where it's like you don't have to charge it for like a month or something like that. That's what I need because I'm lazy and I forget to charge.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be nice.
All right. Well, thanks again. We'll send out that follow-up email with all the info from today. And yeah, just let any of us know if you have any questions. Thanks.